right, so we have Anton Daniels featuring again this week. With his content, he's putting out a lot of content, and again, it's coming up on my radar for obvious reasons. That's just how YouTube works, right? And yes, I'm subscribed to him, and I enjoy a lot of the things he's saying, and I disagree with him quite a bit too, but no big deal, just differences, right? But for the most part, the way he's handling both sides of a lot of their arguments, I like it, okay? And I like more so that he has his own core. He has his own belief system. You know that saying that if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything. He stands for something, and that's good. That's really, it's not about, like I always say, right and wrong are irrelevant. I disagree with him on thinking life is about black and white, because if it was, there would not be all of this conversation on his channel. It's just not, okay? These conversations exist because life is not about black and white. That's just an outlook. That's his personal outlook, and that's fine. That's okay. But it's even better if you know that other people don't see things as black and white. At least don't act that way, right? They don't act that way. Their behavior shows that there is all kind of shades of gray in between, right? So anyway, case in point, there's this gentleman who came on his channel who I respect. I think he has a lot to learn. This gentleman on the right hand side, he has a lot to learn, and I think he's going to learn a lot more from the ladies. And I appreciate this video because there's a lady on the episode or edition of his videos that he could have learned a lot from, but not from what she's saying, because I don't believe that most women can teach you anything about being a man. Most women can't. Very, very small percentage of women that have an idea, an ounce of an idea. But you can watch women's action and learn a lot of what you're supposed to be as a man who wants to attract a woman that will love you back only. Okay? I'm not talking about men that don't want to attract women that will love them back. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you. If what you want is to attract a woman that will actually love you back, be loyal, respectful, right? Respect, trust, and submit to your leadership. If that's what you want, the best teacher is to watch women and see how they react to things, including when they are in their masculine, because that's when you learn. That's when you actually learn the most. You don't learn from a woman who is in her essence of femininity, right? Because she's perfect, so you're feeling good. But you learn when there's crisis. How do you know there's crisis? Because a woman will go into a masculine, right? Because she's trying to protect herself. It's extremely natural for any woman to go into her masculine when she's trying to protect herself, because the idea of protection is masculine. See, when a woman doesn't feel safe and secure, she will protect herself, but she will not necessarily admit that, because she's doing that because she doesn't. It's subtle aggressive behavior that's going on as a natural human being who is a woman, right? So if you are paying attention, you will know that the solution is not to go into your feminine, right? The solution is to actually remain in your masculine core, become the rock of that situation, right? Because if you do that, she will naturally go back to her equilibrium, which is being feminine. But if you now try to yell at her or try to hold her accountable in that spirit, you are now caught up in your emotions and you're not going into your feminine side. So you're out of order, she's out of order, you have chaos, right? And again, all of this is not in what you guys are saying, it's all in the actions, right? You don't get to admit if this is correct, what I just said. This is just what it is, right? So, but anyway, he's not listening. He's saying a lot, like most of the people who are learning the wrong things from this new masculine alpha movement, right? Toxic, by the way. And I'm not going to take that back. Extremely toxic masculine alpha movement going on that needs to be checked. This is why I started these conversations, because at least one or two people can hear this and say, maybe there's more to learn. Don't take my word. I don't want you to do that. I want you to take just a little bit of insight and go study more. That's what I want you to do. All right, so now with that being said, this dude came here and called Anton a beta simp. Okay, and he said in a very passive aggressive way, and I thought it was funny as well. But let's play some of the video.
What do you bring to the table of a relationship, sir?
He said, "What do you bring to the table of a relationship, sir?"
You know, I'm trustworthy.
I don't know.
He said, "I'm trustworthy." A lot of modern men think this is a thing that ladies want or need. They may want it. That's not what they need. Okay.
Trustworthy?
What you say? Honesty and
He said trustworthy and honesty. There's a lot of men making these mistakes. What a woman needs is not trustworthiness and honesty. What she needs is not something that most women can necessarily communicate. It's not necessarily what I'm about to say. It's not necessarily what they will admit to or they're able to admit to. What they need is to feel safe and secure. So if you bring honesty and trustworthy and it doesn't make her feel safe and secure, you've got a serious active problem in your hands and it will destroy your relationship. So the one common denominator that they all want, regardless of how that plays out in their love language, is to feel safe and secure. They don't ask any further question. Most women don't ask further questions when they feel safe and secure. Is that necessarily a good or bad thing? That's irrelevant to what we're talking about. What I'm saying is that she needs to feel safe and secure. Heck, even men need to feel safe and secure. What that looks like for a man is they need to feel like the hero or the leader in the relationship for the most part. There's always exceptions to the rule, okay? So this man, what I've noticed is that a lot of people in the red pill community, in the MGTOW community, in the people in the, what do you call it? The manosphere or black manosphere, whatever, they tend to think being honest is enough because the woman said they wanted honesty. Like, that's not a relationship requirement. That's a human life requirement, period. Nobody likes anybody to lie to them. Okay, that's just the basic bare minimum of being a human being. You're supposed to be honest. That's not a requirement. That shouldn't be a requirement. Are people gonna be dishonest? Yes, they will. That's a fact of life. Everyone will be dishonest because everyone put up a front because they're trying to make a better impression, right? And they do it sometimes very subtly, not necessarily deliberately or intentionally. Now, how do you manage life and love and relationships in the midst of that? That's the real conversation that we need to be having. But again, gentlemen would like to listen to black and white type of conversation. They think it should be as black and white as, hey, I'm honest. You should just accept me and be in your femininity and just submit and trust. This is where you're missing it. This is where you're missing it. You're not asking deeper questions because you think you want to keep scores with a woman. You need to learn how to lead, period. Learn how to lead the ladies. But that's the society we still live in, period. Right? They don't get to tell you how to do that because most of them can't. They're not able to. That is still not an excuse not to learn how to be a man. Okay?
trustworthiness. Yeah, all that.
That's called you supposed to be. That's a very human character.
You're supposed to be honest. That's not
Bring it
something you
deep.
bring to the table for a relationship. You got to bring a little bit more than quote unquote your messed up definition of honesty, which is flawed, by the way. But let's continue here.
You said you could bring good D. You bring that D.
Yeah, I'm doing other stuff too. You know what I mean?
It doesn't even sound confident. He brings the D, but it doesn't sound confident. It sounds like somebody. He can't look in his eyes when he's saying that, and you can see that he's playing him too. Like as usual, Anton is playing him, but he doesn't see that.
like, you know.
It's a level of awkwardness in the way he answers this question. If Anton asked me this question, I'd be like, why? Why do you want to know? Why are you so interested in my D? That's the question I would ask, right? Like that's weird, right? But anyway, let's continue. But of course, he finds himself in an awkward position, in a feminine position, when men find themselves talking so loud in the comment area. This is not your platform. You're talking so loud, you're trying to argue so hard in the comment area, or you call into a show, you're arguing a lot. See, if I have to call into a show, I'm calling in to give props to the person that's on the show. If I have to call in to argue with them, I probably just wouldn't. That's their platform. I don't have to disagree with them. If there's a conversation that needs to be had, I'll create the platform. I'll talk about it. If I can't figure out how to create the platform, then it's not that important. But when the man gets in the place, they have to argue tit for tat with women and back and forth. That's feminine energy. Just saying, your actions, not what you admit to.
Laying it down, you laying it down.
I give great massages.
That's very weird. Even the
That's
girls,
sad.
he gives great massages. He's sharing that with Anton. This is weird. Weird conversations. Anton is playing him because he's a player, but it's like pressing button of a puppet, right? But he's playing along because he's a true beta male. Beta males are lousy, regardless of the facts that could be absolutely true, by the way, that they're spilling in the comment area, but they're loud. They're the empty barrel. They make the loudest noise. They know all the facts. They know all the statistics. But when it comes to game, they're low. You can see the face of this young lady. She's weirdo, right?
Eating, massages, and good conversation, right?
Yeah. Saying treat her right.
Bullshit.
All right, sounds good.
But this is the thing. It's not a give. It's not if it's not a give and take, and she's just taking.
There you go. Man trying to play give and take. That's how you go wrong. If you're a true masculine, you don't care about the taking. You just love giving. But you give to self first. When you give to self first, other people don't have a choice than to give to you, meaning you get to receive. Take is aggressive, is brutal honesty. It doesn't work in relationships. It works against you. Conversation for another day. When I hear a man say give and take, it tells me volume of how they handle relationships. It's the weirdest thing ever, and it's a very feminine energy.
You lay that pipe.
You know what I mean? Why would you bring that to the table if only thing they're going to do is eat? You get what I'm saying?
If all they're gonna do is eat, why would you bring that to the table? This is a person who considers themselves masculine saying this. We can't make this shit up. Like your godfather would say, Godfather Kevin Samuel, right? You can't make this shit up.
And like, it's got to be more. It's got to be you bring something to the table too.
You bring something to the table too, but you want to be the man who commands or attract submission, trust, and respect in the same breath. That's an oxymoron, right? It is, right?
You know what I'm saying? And you talk about, hey, don't ask that question, and you the main one asking that question.
But do you realize the reason?
The point, he missed the point that he's asking that question because he's trying to tell you not to ask that question. Don't ask a lady what she brings to the table. That's feminine energy. It is. It is very common. I know what I'm talking about. That's why we're talking about it. We're getting to the conversation.
that I'm asking is the stuff that I see you typing in the chats. I have to pose this stuff back to you because you be,
If you're gonna ask ladies what they bring to the table, I hope that you're bringing a lot. That's the point. It's never the words that are coming out of our mouth. Even what I'm saying, you have to read between the lines. You have to internalize this. You have to watch this video a few times to grasp everything I'm trying to say. If you're not patient enough to listen to what I'm saying before you argue with it, that is feminine energy. Actions speak louder than words.
typing hard. You got your keyboard out.
Listen, you treat her like a queen, she gonna treat you like a servant.
You treat her like a queen, she gonna treat you like a servant. I can't make this shit up. Yeah, it's getting real. It's getting real, right? Anyway, so, but that's what you have in the comments of a lot of manosphere red pill community. What the gurus are preaching is something else, but again, it's not about the words. How it's being received is another thing entirely. That's why you need to hire some of those guys as a coach so they can help you internalize what you're hearing, because hearing it and running with it is not going to help you. It's going to destroy all the relationships you actually care about, even if you don't admit that you care about it, right? Even if you're actively trying to run away from a marriage, you're still going to be in relationships. You still want some of this. You still want the women, right? It's never mind what you admit to. I'm talking about what's going on up here, right?
Hey, look at this.
You treat her like a star,
Hold on.
she's gonna treat you like a fan.
Right here.
Okay, so watch this. Somebody put a comment on the screen and say, at this point, Anton is just a complete simp. I don't care if I get blocked at this point. So when a person comes and say, I don't care, that's feminine energy, okay? Yes, men do showcase feminine energy when they get caught up in their emotions, meaning they can be a rock of any type of situation. They can't listen long enough to understand another person's differences, right, in character and how they see life. All they see is the religion of red pill, and that's it. No more, no less, right? It's about your actions. It's not about the words. So don't save yourself. Don't try to explain to me in words, right? Just save it, okay? I like comments because that will help our channel grow. But honestly, don't argue with yourself because that's feminine energy, okay? Create a platform. Let me see how far you can go to want to push that agenda, right? I'm not pushing an agenda. I'm trying to have a conversation, ask questions. See, feminine energy is arguing, but masculine energy does not mind asking questions. So when you ask a lady a question and you're trying to understand her, this simps would call it a simp behavior, right?
You know what I'm saying? And guys gotta understand that.
Now watch this. This is the most interesting part of this, right?
You don't think so? I mean, look, you got
That's
married.
a direct question. Am I a simp?
Yes. You were making them.
He said, "Am I a simp?" He said, "Yes." He can't even say that with a straight face. Feminine energy. There's nothing wrong with feminine energy, but it's out of order when somebody tries to say they're masculine, but they're actually showing feminine energy. That's the problem, okay? They're not agreeing with themselves. It's a disagreement going on inside of that person. And then they wonder why they cannot attract a woman who will submit, trust, and respect them, right? It's not possible, right?
No provider. You a beta male provider.
A beta male provider.
He called him a beta male provider. Can't make this shit up, right? So this person says a lot of these dudes are taking this red pill thing way too serious. See, when you take yourself too seriously, that's also, I wouldn't say that's feminine energy per se. I need to unpack that a little bit more. But that right there is how you lose a woman, right? You take yourself too, you don't know how to have a little fun with learning something new. I think the red pill ideologies would be an interesting thing to learn without taking it too seriously, because when you take it too seriously, that's religious behavior, and it works against relationships all the time, okay? In the new world that we're in, okay? Because you're not gonna stop the ladies from discovering knowledge. You're just not gonna stop it. The question is, are you gonna be leader enough to still attract submission, trust, and respect from them? That's the question. How is Anton a simp for providing for his family? This is what they're saying. It started with him getting married. If he got married, it's a simp. That's what these kids are saying. And a lot of overgrown adolescent kids that are following Kevin Samuels and them. A lot of them are still in the marriage. They just don't know how to get out, but they're enjoying the conversation because they feel like women are the enemy. As a man, you should be on your purpose to be in the position to provide for your family. You shouldn't even date or get married if you're not in that position. So the problem with this conversation, they would not even admit to wanting to date or get married. The most toxic ones are actually saying they don't want it. And it's a lie, it's cap, right? Maybe some of the women do have a point when they say men don't want to be traditional themselves, but expect traditional. No, it's not maybe. They're absolutely correct. So anytime you see this kind of chaos that's going on in the conversations, there's a real reason. The reason is in the mirror. It's in the mirror. It's right there in the mirror. And that's the truth. Both sides need to be accountable. I'm fine with red pill holding women accountable. No, this is ridiculous. You shouldn't be fine with that because it doesn't work. Not because they don't have the right to do what they want. It just doesn't work. But some of these red pill men are simply beta males. Not some. If you're following the red pill ideology to the T, where you are taking it so seriously like a religion, you are a beta male. You are the real simp. I'm letting you know right now. And other men should hold them accountable too. Well, the other men holding them accountable, if you're not in my position where you're actually trying to save some by just having these conversations, no, nobody owes you shit in life. We don't have to hold anyone accountable other than ourselves. You have to hold yourself accountable and you will attract what you are. That's how life works. That is how life works. You don't hold other people accountable, much less women if you're a man. It's a ridiculous losing battle effort. It doesn't work. That dude doesn't represent any of us. Yes, he does. Don't take him serious. Yes, he does. See, when you use the word us, That's all I needed to see to know that you're actually like that. I just have to have conversation long enough with you to prove it. Yeah, taking care of family isn't simping. Yes, this is the extreme. To the red pill community, not the gurus necessarily, but the people following them, yes, it is. Taking care of a family is simping. Just because this dude said that doesn't mean that that's red pill ideology. This is own thoughts. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. It is what it is.